Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she gorgeous? Women. I'm a woman, so I'm coming at you from a very female perspective about being healthy, fit and strong as a mum, as a grandma, as an auntie, as a daughter, as a person who lives on the planet and wants to inspire all of the other people on the planet to be healthy, fit and strong. Wherever you're coming from, is it possible to start as a healthy human being and stay that way for the rest of your life? If you are out of shape, unhealthy, not feeling good mentally or physically, is it possible to get back into shape? And what about our little girls? What about our little kids? This is a really personal, important question for me. Wouldn't it be nice if our kids grew up in a world where they never knew what dieting was, they never knew about fanatical, crazy exercise plans, they were just healthy, fit and strong and active. They never knew about eating disorders, they didn't have to deal with disease. And I'll rephrase that because there's some really unlucky diseases. There's some of our gorgeous kids end up sick with a very rare or horrible disease that is just, it seems to be bad luck. But is it possible that there's a lot of diseases in the world right now that doctors have to deal with, have to, I think, waste time on because we as adults haven't looked after ourselves? And if you talk to the top medical professionals in the world, they will share with us that about 80% of people that are in hospital, that go to the doctor, that need medical help, it's self-induced. They're unhealthy, they're unfit, they're out of shape. One of the biggest killers in the world right now is inactivity. It used to be smoking, and now inactivity's overtaken smoking as one of the biggest killers. I'm sharing that with you because as a woman who isn't a mother, I still want to be the very best example possible for our little girls, for our kids, so that they know that it's possible, as I'm here for every day at Romax, to be healthy, fit and strong for all of your life, to have a career or business that you love, that you're passionate about, that you're excited to get up for, that you can be wealthy, financially free, financially secure, whatever you want to call it, but you don't have to be struggling for money, and that you can have great people in your life, and most importantly, have a great relationship with yourself, to have high self-esteem, self-confidence, and really like who you are. I would love that for our kids. How about you? So as an adult, I'm asking myself every day, am I living that example? Am I setting that example so that people know that it's possible? And I use a very personal story always. I was 13 years of age and I was overweight, I had buck teeth, I had pimples on my face. I didn't like where I was going, and I decided at 13 that I was going to change all of that. So I decided at 13 that I was going to be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of my life. So I was going to get my body into great shape and stay that way. I was definitely going to have a career or business that I was passionate about. I didn't want to struggle for money, so I knew I had to be financially free. And I'd seen people argue constantly about relationships, about money, about just people that were in, I could see at 13, in disrespectful relationships, and I didn't want that. And I wanted to feel good about myself. So my life has been a study, analyzation, I know it's a word that doesn't exist, but I love it, research. Everything I do in my life is about, and people say that to me, Rowie, what drives you? Why do you get up in the morning? And it's for those 4 reasons. I'm at Romax every day for those 4 reasons. I would love you to be healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that you love, be financially free and have great people in your life. And one of the main reasons for that is, as an adult, I would love for all of us to be the living example for our kids, because I'd really like our kids to not have to deal with some of the horrible things that, when I look back over my life, I love everything I've done. I'm not regretful for anything. I love all the experiences that I've had, and I've loved all the terrible mistakes I've made and the stupid things I've done because I've learnt from them. But I think it would be nice in some of those areas to have learnt from other people's mistakes. And wouldn't it be nice if our kids could learn from the stupid mistakes that we've made about dieting, about exercise, about getting out of shape? I'd love our kids to never have to go on a diet. So how do we keep that really simple? Because if you look for information about being healthy, about being a woman in great shape, and I'll use another example. I really wanted to be the living, breathing example of an old lady that was in great shape. Because you can find people who are older that are still fit, still strong, still healthy, still playing their sport, still making love to their partner, still dancing, still with great quality of life. People over 100. And one of the other driving forces of my life is to be that person. Barring accident, I would like to live to 120, 30, 40, 50, and the longevity experts are suggesting that that may be possible. I would like to be the person that is the living, breathing example of that with great quality so that people can see that it's possible. So with all of my study and all of my research and now decades of being an exercise professional and an educator and somebody who learns and studies and trains every day, and I've got a pretty good understanding of how complicated the human body can be, I think it's pretty simple. Get fit and get strong. If your body is really fit, so every system in your body, every ligament, tendon, joint, or your endocrine system, your central nervous system, yes, your muscles and bones, yes, your heart and lungs, yes, your digestive system, all of those working together will give you a strong immune system, which means you can fight germs, bugs, viruses and diseases. And if for some bad luck you get sick, you'll get better quicker, recover quicker, and that disease is less likely to come back. That's what happens when you're fit and strong. So my question is, as a woman, as a mum, as a grandma, as a teacher, as a boss, as a leader, what are we doing to show our kids what happens when the human body is fit and strong, mentally and physically? And the beautiful thing, though, about a mentally strong brain means that drives a mentally strong body or physically strong body. But a physically strong body also drives a mentally strong brain. They're all connected. Isn't that awesome? We call it the mind-body connection. It sounds a bit airy-fairy. But ultimately, if I'm fit and strong and my endocrine system, hormonal system, and my nervous system are all working together, then I've got a strong body and brain. So if I want to get fit, I've got to get puffed. There's no argument about that. I've got to overload my heart and lungs. If I want to get strong, I've got to overload my muscles and bones. As adults, are we doing that? When was the last time you got puffed? Are you getting stronger? And the beautiful thing about the human body is it will get stronger. You've just got to force it to. How do you know that you're getting stronger? You can lift heavier, whatever you're lifting, as long as you can lift heavier. And we make it so complicated with reps and sets and days and amounts and calories and fat grams and macronutrient percentages and how many steps and how many glasses and all the complicated things, which I always question every day because that's my job to do that. I'm an exercise professional and I'm an educator, so I need to understand what's the information, the science, the research, why do we say that stuff? And the more and more I study, which is every single day, so now many decades of study, research, analysation, training, education, it's still really simple. Get puffed to get fit, lift heavy to get strong, so you overload your muscles and bones, overload your heart and lungs, and then everything works better. So from a female perspective, it's really interesting because if you want to be a great mum, a great parent, a great grandma, a great auntie, a great sister, a great daughter, all the things that women go through, periods, pregnancy, menopause, emotional challenges, eating disorders, and I'm going to use just a simple example because I'm an old lady now, and one of the things that I was really scared of when I was younger is getting old. I didn't want to be old because I looked at a lot of older women, and that's where my study of fit, strong, healthy, chronologically aged women came from, because I looked at some older women and some women that are not that old but just look old. They don't have any energy, they don't have any enthusiasm for life, their body is wasting away, sarcopenia is wasting of muscle, and osteoporosis is wasting of bone. And they are predominantly women's diseases. Now, some people call them aging diseases, but because women are less likely to lift heavy things through their life, because women are less likely to do high intense activity, and I say less likely because the women that have been lifting heavy and getting puffed and are fit and strong and have been doing that all of their life, and unfortunately there's not that many of them, but the ones that have been doing that are fit and strong and healthy at 60, 70, 80, 100, 100 plus. Isn't that interesting? The women that are inactive, the women that don't get puffed, the women that are scared of strength training. I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to get big muscles. One of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard, and I share that with passion and without apology, because if you don't overload your muscles and bones, all of them in your body, not just some of them, all of them. Some women say to me, I want to do arm exercises or ab exercises or butt exercises. And my question is always, which part of your body do you want weak and which do you want strong? And surely you want to be a strong, powerful woman for all of the women in your life, for your kids, for all of the people in your life. If you are constantly overloading, recovering, getting stronger, muscles and bones, overloading, getting puffed, getting fitter, heart and lungs, those are driven by the central nervous system and the hormonal system, the endocrine system. So all of that works together to create a healthy, fit, strong human being. Why don't we do that? And this is my challenge as a woman. We have some serious influence in the world. Most buying decisions are made by women. In fact, some of the research companies will share with us that more than 70% of buying decisions are made by women. We have an influence on children, we have an influence in classrooms, we have an influence now in government, we have an influence in the medical profession. As women, what are we doing to stay fit and strong? And there's no judgment here, but it seems that men are more likely to stay fit and strong for all of their life. Why? As women, surely we have a responsibility, and that's always my serious question. If I'm a boss, if I'm a leader, if I'm a mum, if I'm in government, if I'm in politics, if anybody's looking at me for inspiration, motivation to be a great human being and to be healthy, fit and strong, do I have an option to be weak? Do I have an option to be lazy? Do I have an option to give up on my exercise program? One of the really interesting questions that is constantly asked of me is, Rowie, how do I stop quitting my exercise program? I need more discipline. I need more focus on exercising. I've got a much better question. Why do you need to be disciplined to exercise? Surely you don't need somebody to hold you accountable to brush your teeth, have a shower, eat food, wear clothes, normal parts of life. Why isn't exercise, being fit and strong, a normal part of life? And I'm sounding very passionate and I'm very careful because I never ever want to be judgmental, and I'm always very respectful. But the reason this is such a driving force for me is I see little kids now. We've got little kids with osteoporosis, bone thinning because they're inactive. And that also, of course, comes with sarcopenia, wasting of muscle. We've got young children who are so inactive that they've got sarcopenia and osteoporosis because their muscles and bones are wasting away. Type 2 diabetes used to be called age onset diabetes because it happened to old people that became inactive and put on weight. And now we've got young children with type 2 diabetes because they're inactive and they don't eat healthy food. I don't want that for our kids. My entire career as an exercise professional, as a personal exercise coach, was working with people, and predominantly women, who had a poor relationship with food, whether that was anorexia, bulimia, morbid obesity. Women who, for some reason, used food as a way to get angry with themselves or hurt themselves, or food was a way of I've got no words. I just don't want that for our kids. I don't want our kids to even know what those diseases are. I don't want our kids to have mental health challenges. How about you? So there's some of the personal questions that I always ask women in particular, because we have such an influence on our world. Every time you talk about going on a diet, every time you talk about good or bad food, every time you talk about weighing yourself, who's listening? Do our kids hear, I need to restrict my food, that's a bad food, I need to go on a diet, I'm too fat, I need to get my body fat tested, I need to go to the gym 3 times a week, I feel terrible because I want to have a piece of cake but I can't, I don't fit into my bikini so I'm a bad person. Surely we're aware that people will be listening to that. But here's an even more personal question. You're hearing that yourself. If you're saying to yourself, I'm a bad person because I had that glass of wine or I ate a piece of chocolate. I'm a bad person because my trainer told me I can't have, mustn't have, don't have, shouldn't have, and I had it, so that must make me a really bad person. I have to go on a diet, I have to get my body fat tested and then feel terrible because your body fat isn't exactly the way that it's supposed to be. What are you telling yourself when you put yourself through all of those processes? When I ask again this very personal question, do you want to be the living, breathing example of healthy, fit and strong mentally and physically for all of the people in your life? Surely that starts with us. And an even better question, do you not want to be that example for yourself? And that's the reason I ask that question is a lot of people share with me a photo. They say, I used to look like this. or I used to have a stack of energy, or I used to be in great shape, or I used to play sport, or I used to. Wouldn't it be nice if we were born, we live healthy, fit and strong, love our food, love our exercise, love being active, have a fit, strong body, and then die, barring accident, at 120, 30, 40, 50, having loved our life, doing all the things that we love to do. And some people share with me, and I will say some very negative people share with me that Rowie, that's a very unrealistic look at life. Well, here's my realistic look at life, because I'm the ultimate realist. Life will throw shit at us. I can't put it any other way. There's going to be tough times, bad times, hard times. But why would we create those for ourselves? They're going to get thrown at us anyway. Other people are going to do terrible things. The government's going to do stupid stuff. Mother Nature's going to flood, rain, burn, blow. She does terrible things. We have to be tough and strong to handle those things. So the two variants that we have no control over, I always say, is what other people do and what the world does, what Mother Nature does. But surely we need to be tough, strong humans to be able to handle that stuff, and not have to be tough and strong to handle type 2 diabetes, or handle coronary heart disease, or handle looking in the mirror and not liking what we see. Surely they're the things that, because we have control over those, being fit, being strong, being healthy, we choose those. Is it possible that if we're fit and strong, we can then handle everything else so much better? So as a woman, and I've had an awesome day today, learning, training, educating, exercising, eating healthy food, playing with my puppy dogs, chatting with my students. I have a brilliant life. I love my life. But I'm sharing that with you because I've created that life. I decided at 13 that I was going to be healthy, fit and strong, that I was going to have a career or business that I love, that I was going to be financially free, and I was never going to have disrespectful people in my life. I decided that at 13. And that to me was a personal choice. My question to you is, what is your personal choice? Will you choose those things? Will you choose to live your life to the max? Or are you going to live your life average, ordinary, unfit, out of shape, angry with life, depressed? I'm using all the words that people share with me. Rowie, I hate my life because I'm angry, I'm depressed, and I can't handle it. And I'll ask the question very personally again. As an adult, and particularly as a woman, if you have other women, other little girls, other people, your family, your friends relying on you to be a tough, strong, powerful woman, do we have an option? I always share my favourite quote. We never know how strong we are until strong is the only option. So do we need to make sure that when tough stuff comes and hits us, tries to hurt us, tries to depress us, make us angry, that we have a fit, strong body to handle it? Do you want to be the gorgeous, strong, powerful, passionate, positive woman that lives the example for all of the other people in your life? It's a personal question. I'd love you to live your life to the max, and I'd love everybody to live their life to the max. But how can we inspire people to do that if we're not doing that ourselves? Very personal question. Please choose to live your life to the max in every area of your life. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful?